Something about that song fires me up. I don't know why I had to sing it. Welcome to the show. Hey, have you ever felt like business was like combat? Today, I'm going to be interviewing one of the stars of the Mortal Kombat movie series. He's also one of the best business owners I know. He's also one of my clients, and he's also a friend. Chris Casamassa is a machine. I'm going to be introducing him in a second. Today, we're going to crawl or maybe run through a local business. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can get reviews, even if you're not a local business, by the way, how you can get great referrals. And then when you're all done building your amazing business, how to completely transition and reinvent yourself. Welcome to I think a little quick on the finger there. I cut myself off. Welcome to EdTalks Live. By the way, welcome to the show. My name is Ed Rush, 5-time #1 best-selling author, former F-18 fighter pilot, your host for the most positive place on the planet for insanely implementable ideas. Okay, today I'm going to be interviewing Chris Casamassa. I'm going to bring Chris on in just a second. Before I do that, let me just say, jump into chat on the right-hand side on YouTube. Please tell me who you are, where you're from, what you do. I see a bunch of my martial arts friends over there too, so I'm going to say hello to you all as well. Billy Wilcox, what's up, man? It's in the house, Chris. So I'm going to say hello to you in a second, but take the time to say hello. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do. If you're on Facebook, come and do that below. Now, before I do that, let me just say this. Most of you are registered already for the Ultimate Speaker. If you are, just know that you need to come today to our private Zoom meeting that's happening at 4 o'clock Pacific and 7 o'clock Eastern. If you're not registered for the Ultimate Speaker, the website is actually right below you. And I will tell you that you've got about maybe about 5 hours to register before the hookup disappears, because I'm going to take care of everybody who's already registered for the event. And essentially what you're going to be getting is 3 events for the price of 1. All right, so that's all I'm going to say about that. A little private commercial. If you're already registered, you're about to find out. If you are not, now would be a really great time for that. You're going to see a little bit more about that via email. So let me say hello to some of our friends in chat. Barry from Palm Springs. Barry was here at like 8 o'clock this morning. I usually check in on the feed to make sure that everything's connected right, and bam, he's right here reading and listening to actually 21 Day Miracle audio version. So Dennis, welcome to the show as well. Good to see you. As Wendell Bugs, my man, good to see you. Jim Butts, as usual. Robert, my friend and my positive voice from Texas. What's up, Aubrey? How are you? Billy, my man, look at that. He's got his Wilcox Karate Academy logo. I love it. Hello, Salih. Hello, Chris. Hello, Chris Gordon. Good to see you as well. Hello, Salih. John, all the way from over the pond. And Sally and Sydney. What's up? Good to see you, Dr. Wendy Lee. Congratulations on all of your success as well. Diana Lovejoy. My video. I think it's working. All right. So hello, Marianne. Good to see you as well. David Zetz, I know you registered yesterday. I'm going to take care of you, my friend. Good to see you as well. All right. So let's get on with the getting on. I'm going to bring on my friend, Chris. What's up, dude? How are you?
I am awesome. Good to see you, Ed.
Let me do an introduction. I'm going to ask in a minute just for you to give a little bit of background. I met Chris, man, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. He actually came to one of our events. We immediately hit it off. Now, what I didn't know when I met Chris, what I knew at the time was that Chris was the leader and the co-founder. Actually, his dad was the founder of one of the biggest and most influential karate academies in the world. I knew that he was great at growing a membership-based business. What I didn't know at the time was that Chris is one of the stars from the Mortal Kombat TV series. He's also worn the Batman suit. So if you see Batman like roundhouse kick, that's not Batman. That was Chris, okay? And what I've been so proud of is, since we've been working together, is I've seen Chris completely transition, create a totally separate and new business, and turn that into a 6-figure business model. So Dude, welcome to the show. It's really an honor to have you. Like I said in the intro, I consider you not only a client, but also a friend, and we've done business together. So it's just a real joy to have you on the show, bud.
Hey, well, listen, I'm happy to be here, and we've done some good stuff, and I'm looking forward to doing more.
Take us, give us a little bit more of the bio. I want to hear a little bit of your story. I mean, you go all the way back to karate championships, into the movie world, into the business world, into the business guru world. So take us through that story just a little bit, because I think it's informative.
Well, I don't think we have enough time to go through that entire story, but I'll give you the cliff notes, that's for sure.
Yeah, give me like the minute and a half version, you know?
So I started martial arts when I was, and so now I've been doing it for like 117 years. But my dad, as you said, started our company, which is the world famous Red Dragon Karate. We've got 12 locations here in Southern California. And he started this all the way back in 1965. So we've been doing this for over half a century now. So we've got some nice longevity here. And when I was younger, I started competing on the pro circuit. There's a pro tour for martial arts, just like there is for golf or any other sport, where I got the competition bug and stayed out on the tour for a number of years. I ended up becoming a 4-time #1 national champion. And through that, I kind of got discovered for movies and TV work. So each of the steps along the way helped me for the next step to make that evolution. And then, of course, I met you. Actually, our real story is we met in New York at another event, and that's where we met each other for the very first time. I saw you, and I was like, wow, this dude's pretty cool, pretty powerful.
That's right. That was Mike Perella's event in New York. And this is, by the way, this is how I found out about Chris. Chris was doing, he was doing a 1-hour talk, and the slot that they gave Chris that Saturday morning was, I don't even know why I got up. It was like, I guess I just was wide awake at 6 in the morning or whatever. I kid you not. They gave Chris like the 6:30 to 7:30 speaking slot.
It was horrible.
So there was a room, the room had about 500 martial arts business owners in it. But for Chris's talk at 6:30 in the morning, there were like 7 of us. But I came up to him afterwards. Remember this? And I'm like, dude, that was a real, like, I'm a connoisseur of good communicators. And I was like, that was a really, really good talk. You were doing, I think it was your bully proof fitness talk, right? So
I was talking about, I think that one was on birthday parties, how to help
that's right.
parties generate business.
That's right. Your birthday. That's right. So that was my introduction. I saw the man deliver one of the best speeches that I've ever seen to about 7 people. But
yeah, that's it. The best talk no one ever heard.
By the way, it's interesting as a communicator, this is actually a really interesting lesson, right? Because our business relationship, Chris, the two of us, has been, probably close to 6-figure venture for both of us. And when you walk out on stage in front of 7 people, and there's a room that's supposed to have 500 people, and it wasn't 7, it was like 12, but it was still really small. When it's that small, the temptation is to be discouraged about that. But you know what? That one connection between the two of us has literally created several businesses for both of us. And so as a communicator, be encouraged as you're watching Chris and I. Just know, hey, you know what? You might do your first live stream and there may be 4 people there, but one of those people may be really influential, right?
100%. And that's it. It was something I learned a very, very long time ago. And listen, I was pissed at that time slot because I was promised a much better slot. But at the time, you know, on the speaking side of it, I wasn't as prominent as, let's say, I am today. You know, I had my movie stuff and my martial arts stuff. But when it came to delivering content, you know, I wasn't really known for doing that at that time. But my mindset was, you never know who's in the audience. And if I can impact just one person out of the 12 that were sitting there, and at the end of the talk, the room was kind of full because I was like the pre-event thing. But you never know who you're going to impact. So I just imagined the room was full. And I said, screw it. I'm going to go out there and do it as if there was 500 people here. And if I help one person in this room, then it's a win for me. And it was a big win. I helped the people that were there, and I got to meet you. So for me, it's a huge win. Had I gone half-assed and like just kind of mailed it in, like you would have said, this dude's just average. And maybe I didn't help the people in the audience that I helped that day.
Yeah, I mean, I walked right up to Chris. I said, look, that was one of the best talks I've seen, and you deserve to talk in front of more people. Hi, my name's Ed Rush. And next thing you know, we're working together. You're at an event, and life goes from there. All right, so you've been extremely successful at building these membership-based businesses, and at the same time, helping other martial arts schools build membership-based businesses. Every single person that I know wants to create a business where people pay them on a monthly basis. How did you do it? What kind of advice do you have for people who want to do that? Even if it's not a local-based business, maybe it's just online. What are your thoughts?
So my thoughts actually are pretty consistent with what I just said a moment ago, and that is, it starts with one, right? Everybody, and I'll use the martial arts for example. So I'm teaching my school. I've got over 300 active members. I've got a very successful business here. I have so many people that come in and they say, hey, I want to do that, right? They see the end result, but a lot of times they're not necessarily willing to put in the work, right? It took a lifetime of me doing what I do to get to this moment, to have this beautiful studio, to have all these members. It didn't happen overnight. It was a series of steps that I was consistent and took the action to get there, knowing in my head what I wanted. So it starts with one. You know, if you can impact one person, like I said on the stage, I don't care if there's 7 or 12 or 20 people in the audience. If I can change the life of one person's business, I'm already successful, right? And that has always been my mindset. Now, of course, I'm helping hundreds of martial arts school owners now, but I didn't start that way. So the lesson, the message here is pretty simple. Start with one, get them results, get another one, get them results. And then, and this is something that you taught me, get testimonials, because I'm supposed to say great things about me. It's my studio, it's my business. But if I get someone else to say, yeah, hey, this guy helped me. He took me from A to B, and now we're on our way to C. That's social proof. And the power of social proof is undeniable. Written testimonials, audio testimonials, video testimonials, those really are the secret to longevity and impacting more and more people, right? If you've got a message and you want to help people, you've got the knowledge, right? I had a lifetime of knowledge basically bottled up, and I was like, I need to help all these people. I have the answers, but I had to start with one, right? And then I got some testimonials, I got some social proof, and more people are like, hey, I want to learn from him. Hey, I want to learn from him. Hey, I want to do that. And so now it's helped me get to this moment here where I get to appear on EdTalks.
So, hey, it's interesting the way you just described that, because that's what I tell my clients. Like if somebody comes to me and they say, hey, I have a program that will help mend marriage relationships across the world. And I'm like, all right, cool. How do you want to do this? And they say, look, I want to create a product. I want to sell it online. Where should I start? And I go, you need to start by selling it to one person and then make it 10 people. And when I say sell it, what I mean is you sell it and you teach it to them like one-on-one.
Right.
And I always get pushback. People, but I want to and I'm like, look, I will get you there. But the interesting thing about that one-on-one is you go, hey, I've got this program that does this. And the person looks at you and goes, hey, I've tried that stuff before and it didn't work. Oh gosh, I should write that down. Tried it and didn't work. Somebody else goes, look, I think my marriage is past healing. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Marriage is past healing. And then when you go to create your course on your website, you go, maybe you think you've tried this before and it didn't work. Maybe you think your marriage is past healing. I'm here to tell you it didn't. And all that data you got from those little conversations that you had. So Chris, I think that's brilliant. What you're saying is like you focus on one person, you have that conversation, and then you develop the relationship, but then you get the success story. And I have to tell you, man, even though I teach this stuff, I still forget this. I just went back through my website for Ultimate Speaker. I've got 20 video testimonials from the last event. I haven't used one of those yet. And today I'm going to be spending some time editing through those and putting those up because, you know, Chris, you reminded me that I need to do testimonials.
Yeah. So look, Ed, I'll give you social proof, right? And thank you for saying that talk I gave was good, but you've helped me go from good to great, right? I knew I had a message. I knew I had knowledge that could help people. And I kind of figured out how to get there, right? I teach every day. So communication was already kind of built into me, but the tools that you gave me, the tools that you taught me, the little tweaks make all the difference to where now I have the ability to stand on stage in front of 800 or 1,000. You know, at FBS, I think there was almost 1,200 people in the audience. So those things that you taught me and shared with me and showed me really helped to mold and shape my growth and my ability to expand. And again, by doing that, I'm helping more people. I'm creating a greater impact. And obviously the side benefit is I get to live a better lifestyle because there's income that's associated with that.
Yeah, it's huge.
You know, we did that event in Dallas. And the Bill Glazer event, which was really cool because I entered a speaking competition, which I won. So that was cool. Right. And I was like the only guy there that wasn't part of that group. So I was like the outsider looking in. So again, I love that challenge and I love that ability to do it. I saw a comment, Aaron Miller over
I
there.
was just going to say that.
Yeah. So thank you, Aaron. I appreciate your vote, man. You helped me.
I love Chris's talk. And of course, someone tried to get you off stage. It wasn't me. And I was the MC. And what was the line that you, the backstory on this, by the way. So Chris had 10 minutes. He had 10 minutes to do like a 25-minute talk. And the audience was really liking all the strategies. He was teaching his referral stuff and his reviews. And the audience was really liking it, but he went over the time. And somebody, I think it was Rob Cuesta, who came up to get you off the stage. And what you said something like if you can beat me up, you can beat me up.
And I'll give a little bit more framework. Every other speaker had gone over their time. So I thought, well, they don't care about the time. I have all this content. Didn't really seem like the thing. So I'm like, well, if they went long, I can go long. I just happened to go much longer than everybody else. But he came up and I go, hey, I looked in the audience. I go, you know what the great thing about being me is? There's no one that could get me off this fucking stage.
You said those exact words. And then Rob like turned back around. He's like,
he's like, I guess he's right.
So I don't think I said this exactly in the introduction, but Chris is not only a black belt, but he's at a level where his students call him Shihan Chris, right? So, so that's like I mean, that's the top, right?
Almost. So I'm a 9th degree black belt at this moment. The highest in our system and style is 10th degree, which is what my dad is, who's still alive. He's still kicking. He's still telling me I don't know anything, which is great because it keeps me humble. But
yeah, he's 10th. I mean, come on now. So
yeah, right.
So here's the bottom line. You don't try to get a 9th degree black belt off the stage. I was the MC. I'm like, you take it, dude. I'm not going to go up there and get Chris off. Anyway, that was pretty funny. All right. So by the way, a whole bunch of you just joined us. If you did, this is Business Combat and How to Win. I'm interviewing my friend, my client, Chris Casamassa, star of the Mortal Kombat series. I want you to tell a movie story in a second, by the way. Tell a story quickly about how you got into. There was part of your audition where you did something outrageous, basically. Tell that story because I thought it was pretty funny how you actually got into the movies in the first place.
Well, I had done a bunch of small, again, stepping stones, right? I didn't start in Mortal Kombat. The Mortal Kombat was probably my 4th, maybe my 5th movie. I'd done some TV commercials, like little small, everything small, little. So the audition request came through for Mortal Kombat, and they were auditioning for background fighters. And if you saw the movie, there's a few scenes in there where some of the other characters are fighting, and there's people cheering in the background. And it was a major motion picture for Hollywood, and I wanted to be in one. I wanted to move up. I had done, low budget B movie stuff. And so I go, I'm going to try out for that because I want to be in a major motion picture. And we go to this open call audition. There's probably 100 guys there. And they had it set up, which worked out well for me because they had it set up kind of like a tournament. They had this little square area. They had 3 casting directors and producers, whatever, sitting on chairs watching everybody do their stuff. Because the great thing the producers did for Mortal Kombat was they wanted real martial artists in there. They wanted to do the game justice when they brought it to the big screen. So they were looking for the best talent that they could find. And there were a lot of good people there that day when I was there. So when I got up, I wanted to do something different, something that would set me apart. Because I'm like, I want to be in a Hollywood film. I want to be in a big budget film. So I start doing my routine. I'm doing some stuff. And I realized, well, these guys are sitting and I'm in my prime. I can clear them. Pretty sure I can make it. I ran right at them, did a jump kick over the top of them. And to this day, I can remember the look on their face. It was like slow motion. I watched their heads just go. And so I did a couple moves on the other side of them when they turned around, and then I did a dive over the top of them, came back up, and I finished my routine. And then that night I get a call. It says, hey, we want you to come back. And I'm like, wow, man, it's hard to get in a major for a background fighter. Like, I had second audition. So I go back and there's less people now. There's maybe 25, 30 guys. We do some more stuff. I did some weapon routine. I get a call that night and they say, we want you to come back again. And in the beginning, they had told us, hey, all the roles are cast. Like, we just need background fighters, blah, blah, blah. Third time I go back, there's 3 of us. There's me and 2 other guys. And this is where the story gets a little weird, but it's true. we're standing there and they have a movie camera and there's 5 or 6 people. I don't know any of them at this point. And they're basically filming us with the camera. And a guy walks over and he says, would you guys mind taking your shirts off? And this is where I'm kind of a smart ass. So I get into trouble sometimes. So I look at him and I go, well, if it'll help me get the part, I'll be happy to go back to your trailer. Your laugh was what I was expecting. However, I got this look.
However, this is Hollywood, and no.
I got deadpan. Like the guy looked at me, didn't react, and I go, oh man, I'm out. There's no way I'm getting this. So we take off our shirts, and I'm in really good shape, and I try and keep myself in shape at all times. So I'm, of course, I'm flexing, but trying not to flex. I look to my left. Guy on my left, he's got a little bit of a pot belly. Guy on my right, he's in okay shape. So they take the camera, they pan, and they literally do a football huddle. The guy who I made the joke to walks over, shakes my hand, says, welcome to Mortal Kombat. You're going to be Scorpion. Huh. Now I find out later that guy was the director.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh my God. So he goes, I wanted to laugh at what you said, but I couldn't. You know, when we were filming, that was funny. And I go, it was a joke. He goes, yeah, but we couldn't do it. So that's how. And looking back on it, I'm glad. You know, I don't know what happened if the roles were cast or if they just told us that. But you know, had I known at the time those roles were maybe open, maybe I would have not done something. I would have hesitated, maybe changed my mind. But it all kind of worked out for the good.
So you basically, it's interesting. So I was listening to, if you ever listen to the musical Hamilton, there's a song an hour and 15 minutes into that musical where there's a single line in the song that's not even related to the song, but the person playing Aaron Burr says, Alexander Hamilton has nothing to lose. And I mean, that one line hit me so hard. I was actually moved emotionally when I thought about that, because I realized if you could live your life with nothing to lose, you would be so formidable. The fact is, most entrepreneurs would admit that they're holding themselves back in so many different. I don't want to try this because of what if I embarrass myself, and what if I did this? But the truth was, you didn't think you had a chance at a role because it was already cast for somebody else. So you just kind of you were just basically Chris Casamassa, frankly, and you decided like, flex but not flex, and jump over people and make obscene jokes to directors. And as it turned out, that's probably who they were looking for in the first place, you know?
Yeah. And that's, you know, you touch on that, and a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, and the ones I come in contact with for sure, and you come in contact with a ton of them as well. They get stuck in what we call paralysis analysis. They overthink and they don't take action. And the thing that kills them, especially now, like with what's going on in the world, lack of action is your worst enemy. Overthinking is your worst enemy. You've got to move, and you got to move fast, and you can't overthink it, right? You don't live your life by what if, right? What's the worst thing in an old person's eyes? I'll tell you right now, regret. Don't go back and say, I wish, I would have, I could have, I should have. Do it now. Take the action to move yourself forward.
I wrote about this in my book, this Australian hospice care nurse named Bronnie Ware interviewed over 1,000 people on their deathbed. And she said, what's your biggest regret? And the biggest one by far, not statistically, the biggest one by far wasn't, I wish I spent more time with my family, wasn't, I wish I took more time in nature. The biggest regret was, I wish I didn't live my life to someone else's expectations. Man, when I read that, I was like, this is it right here. So as you're watching, take this little story as your encouragement. There's something that God has called you. There's some table that you need to jump over. And you know what? Here's the thing. If you jump, like when Chris jumped over those directors, there was actually a chance he was going to hit one of them in the head with his foot accidentally. Yeah. But you know what? He did it anyway. And it turns out not only did it help him get the role in a major motion picture series, by the way, there's still people following him around. It cracks me up. I've been to several of Chris's events. The last one, he has this group of like Mortal Kombat groupie people that come with like posters and stuff. People still following him around. Okay. because he jumped over a table, because he took the risk to do it. So my question for you is what is God asking you to risk right now? What is the big step that you can take? And what Chris said is right. It's ready, fire, aim in this world. What that means is if you jump and you hit somebody, guess what? You can just jump the next day over a couple other people, right? Because life's going to present itself with new opportunities. Like Tony Robbins says, the deal of a lifetime shows up about every 2 to 3 weeks. So it's good. By the way, I know some of you are making comments about this. I've got my video connection is not working the way that it should. And this is about the end of my relationship with Cox Internet, just so you know. So hello, AT&T. So we've had some conversations Cox and I have had over the phone over the last couple of weeks, and today will be the day. So there we go. You live and you learn, and you ready, fire, aim, Chris Casamassa.
Correct.
That's all I have to say about that. All right. So I'm going to catch up really quickly in chat just to say hello to some of those who just joined us. What's up, Marcus? Welcome to the show. Glad to have you as well. Aaron, who just made that great comment about Chris, which is great. Barry says, little tweaks equals 2 degree change makes a huge difference. No joke. And Diana says, even if you're a senior citizen, you can move forward with your dream. Diana, I will tell you, not only is that true, that is 110% true. Yesterday, I did a live stream for a friend of mine, and I would say that the average age of the attendees, there are 59 people on this. I would say the average age, I'm not exaggerating, was probably 82 years old. And the thing I told them was, you do not believe the lie that it's too late. I know 35-year-olds that are believing a lie that it's too late. It is not too late. Today is your day to get on to changing the world. All right. So if you just joined us, my name's Ed Rush. I'm here with my friend Chris Casamassa. We're talking about business combat and how to win. Let's talk about some business strategies, dude. You are awesome at getting and using testimonials. So tell us your best strategies for that. Because, man, you go to Chris's sites online, that guy's got hundreds of reviews. And his students do too. So what's your secret sauce on that, dude?
So for membership-based businesses, the big thing to do is, we'll start here. If you're getting your clients results, and I don't care if you're in martial arts, fitness, health, whatever it is, and wellness, you're getting them results. It's a simple 30-second moment where you go, hey, you came to me because, and in my case, self-defense. I want my kid to be bully-proof. I want my kid to be more confident. So I simply go, have we helped? Oh my God, yes. My kid, he's standing up straighter. He's looking me in my eyes when he's talking to me. He's trying harder. The grades at school have improved. And I just say, that's great. Would you mind if I got my camera and I just filmed you saying that? Because my goal is to help impact as many people as possible in my community. And having a social proof like that is really powerful. And it would mean the world to me. 30-second conversation. They say, yeah, sure, no problem. I pick up my camera and film them. And I do that. And what I teach for martial arts schools is like the core components of martial arts, what most parents come to us for are confidence, self-defense, fitness, self-esteem, more respect, discipline. I have little folders on my desktop with those keywords in them. So when a parent comes to me for one of those things, now when I'm having the conversation on the phone, they go, I really want my kid's been getting picked on at school. And I say, that's great. Do you know Red Dragon helps kids become bully proof? No, I don't. You know what? I had a parent who came in that had the same situation just like you. Would it be okay if I just sent you a quick video about their experience with us and how we were able to help them? Sure, no problem. Great. And I get their email or a text and I just shoot them because the videos are short. They're 30 seconds to a minute. So you don't need a 27-minute testimonial. Now I send that to that client who's on the phone. They're looking at it. And like we said in the beginning, I'm supposed to say great things about Red Dragon. I am Red Dragon. But if a parent who has a child, just like this person on my phone, or a new member comes in and they hear another parent sharing their experience with them, I have nothing to sell them because it's proof I work. So they're like, okay, good. Well, it worked for them. It's going to work for my kid. It's the easiest thing. Again, paralysis analysis sets in. Most school owners won't take that action. It's too hard. They're too nervous and they're afraid of this answer. No.
Yeah, that's right. It's interesting. I love that strategy. And I'm thinking about how to do that in the consulting world because, you know, people come to me, they'll say something like, you know, I've hired people before and it didn't work. But then I have people in a coaching day that get some result like what we've done together. And so I could take the camera, for example, with you, I could take the camera and go, hey, tell a story about how you thought it might not work because you tried something before. And then if you did that and someone asked me that, instead of me saying to them, oh, it'll work, don't worry about it, I could go, hey, what if I sent you a little video and now it's you telling them? I think that's brilliant, dude. Because again, it goes back to the principle, everyone knows you're going to talk about yourself. Great. Yep. But that other person, that third party proof is really, really good. And I love how you counter objections. We just did an entire series this week on the sales process and countering objections. I love how you counter objections using someone else's testimonial. That's really great. And by the way, it doesn't matter if you have a local business, that's a strategy that you can use right now. Get somebody to create a testimonial that counters a question or an objection that somebody has. Really, really great. Really
yeah,
great.
That's it. And listen, that you touched on it, Ed, and that is, it doesn't matter. If I had an ice cream shop, right, I would do the same thing. Hey, what's your favorite flavor? I love cherry fudge vanilla. That's awesome. We have a lot of people that come in and ask about cherry fudge vanilla. Hey, check this out. This is the best cherry fudge vanilla I've ever tasted. Oh my God, it kills basket. Like I would do the same thing. That model, what I just told everybody, will fit into any industry, into any business, as long as you take the action to do it. And bringing that full circle. So the movie industry is probably one of the toughest businesses I've ever been in. You've got to have a thick skin because you hear no all the time. I heard no a ton of times. And to this day, I still hear no, but it only takes one yes to change your life. Right. And it's most of the time when you hear the no in the movie industry, it's not because you're not good enough. It's they're looking for a certain look, a certain feel. They've got a role in a job and they've got to cast it the right way. So sometimes it's not the talent. It's just, you don't look the right way. Maybe your hair color's wrong. Maybe it's the inflection in your voice isn't right. But the first time you hear that yes, everything changes.
It's really cool.
Persistence really is the key to that.
That's good. That's really good. Hey, in a moment, I'm going to ask you some social tips. Just want to make one comment here. This is really great. Marcus says, I love Chris' tip of putting testimonials in different folders based on keywords of what different customers want. Again, I love that strategy. It really is something you can take away right now. Make a list of your 5 common objections. Go ask your clients about their experience with those. Have them say something good. That's really, really good. All right, cool. Hey, by the way, if you just joined us, and many of you just did, I'm here interviewing Chris Casamassa on business, combat, and how to win. We are in the middle of a discussion about how to get testimonials, but I want to move into social media. You're one of the best I know by far at not only executing on social media, but also teaching your business owners how to do it. And I've seen you teach this before. I've seen you teach this over an hour before. But give us some like rapid fire, some of your best social media stuff that you see is working right now.
So the best social media thing to do is to take advantage of a $1 billion platform that is free. And this is the biggest mistake and the biggest stumbling block that I see, not only in the martial arts industry, but in most industries. Facebook is a $1 billion platform and it gives you a broadcast studio for free. Matter of fact, we're broadcasting there right now. I'm sure on one of your channels. There's no more gatekeeper. There used to be back in the day, ABC, NBC, and CBS. Then there became 100 cable networks. You don't need them anymore. You have your own TV studio right here, right in your pocket. And you could do it every single day. You can go live. So the metrics are pretty simple. Like for Facebook, an image post gets a certain amount of reach. A pre-recorded video will get maybe 5-7 times the amount of reach because it's a video. But a live video gets 10 times that ROI. And if you can show me another platform where you can get 10x ROI for free, I'm all in. That's why I'm very bullish on both Facebook and Instagram, which, by the way, Facebook bought Instagram. They're not stupid. They see that that platform is shifting and changing and evolving. So you can also go free live on Instagram. Like, you take advantage of those platforms. Again, it doesn't matter what your industry or what your business is. There's a niche for every single industry. It's just a matter of using that to get the reach. Now, of course, Facebook wants you to advertise. You can do boosted posts. You can set up ad campaigns and do all that. That's great too. But, and you saw me before we were doing, like, I was going to try and go live with you. And that's how much I believe in it. And listen, whether you're a fan of Facebook or not is irrelevant. Facebook ain't going away anytime soon. Neither is Instagram. So you can resist and go, well, back in my day, and we can do this. You know what? You can romanticize the past, or you can adapt the technology that's there. You can use it to move your business forward. The choice is yours. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just telling you, here's what's working. Here's how it's working now. You can do it, or you can go, wow, we did ads in newspaper. We did ads on the radio. Yeah, that was cool in the 50s. It's not really so cool today. If you want your business to move forward, you want it to be here in 2021, 2022, 2030, adapt what's out there and take it as long as it's free. Like, I'm afraid that those platforms are going to start charging to go live.
Yeah.
You know, it's free now. Do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. If, for example, Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn would charge money to go live, I would actually be happy about that, because that would just mean I would be able to get in front of more people. Right now, it's just anyone can turn the thing around and go. So interesting from a mindset perspective. But yeah, so what are you seeing? And by the way, in a moment, as you're watching, I'm going to give you a chance to ask Chris your questions. Okay, so throw it in the chat, write the word question, anything about membership marketing, testimonials, social media. In a moment, I'm going to talk about this transition that you took in your business into teaching and being in creating mastermind groups. But what are some of the things that you're seeing that are getting the best result on social media in terms of your posting your content?
Live videos, free community training is what we're doing right now. That's really getting some pop for us, because listen, there's so many kids and families that are stuck at home, the stay-at-home orders. And here's the other great thing about martial arts. It's really one of the only sports that pivots well into this medium, into video, into virtual. I can stand here and teach you how to punch and how to block, and you can follow along with me at home. I can't necessarily do that with football or baseball, but with martial arts, it's an easier transition to go live. There's so many kids that had no more activity, no more outside things. So I wanted to do what I could to help them just get up off the couch. Like, you're looking at your TV anyway. Well, follow me. Let's do some stuff. Let's do some jumping jacks. Let's throw some punches. Let's throw some blocks. Let's learn how to become bully proof, fit, strong, healthy, and stay safe while you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I've been talking about for 2 months now is turn around and go live. I'm in the middle of recording this next week. Some of you watched the weekly flight briefing from last week. My next week's flight briefing, I'm talking again about this new world that we're in, where people are watching things live. I mean, Tuesday, I don't know if you saw the show, but Todd Durkin talked about how he took his entire fitness center in 3 days offline. And you know what? People are getting used to it, and they're not bothered so much by the quality, or they just want the content, you know? Give me the things that I need. I do want to say something while we're watching this video. I want you to take a look at Chris's studio that's behind him. That, I know I was joking with him before. It looks so good. It looks like a green screen. Chris, you talk to your business owners about this wow factor. Okay, so let me just put it this way. When you walk into most martial arts studios, there's just crap everywhere, you know? Tape on the floor, bags everywhere. The owner's desk is like at the front door, and it's got stacks of paper piled up on it. And I know that the family there, the normal students don't mind, but like somebody like me walks in there, I'm like, what the heck is this place, right? Chris's studio looks immaculate, and I know, like, you know, there haven't been many kids there lately, but it still looks like that, and I know you teach that. Now, that's a front door policy for a brick and mortar business, but this holds true, by the way, for your internet business, for your product business, for your guru business. Talk about the importance of the first impression, and then we'll get into some of the transitions that you took.
Right. Well, so again, our industry as a whole, which is why I'm out doing what I'm doing, that's really going to be my new show. It's called Dojo Rescue, where I go in like that John Taffer guy with bars and just tear apart martial arts schools. Because listen, most of us got into this because they loved the arts and they didn't know a whole lot about business. But again, like you said, Ed, it doesn't matter your business. The old saying is, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. There's two impressions on a first impression: sight, and for a martial arts school, smell. Right? The Apocalypse Now movie. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. I personally love the smell of a sweaty dojo the day after we all fought in here for 3 or 4 hours. That's me. I'm a kook. But my customer who walked in for the first time, smells one of the biggest turnoffs in the world. So if you want to have a 6-figure business, it doesn't matter if it's martial arts or anything, you got to make your business look like a 6-figure business. If I'm going to ask you to pay me a premium to train your family or your child, your facility needs to look like this guy invested money into this facility. He cares about the quality of what he's putting out. So those are key factors on any business, any model, about just that first impression when you walk in. Now, as most people, if anybody knows me on this stream, I'm a huge fan of Starbucks, right? I'm powered by caffeine. If I could inject it in my veins, I probably would. So my studio, my store, I modeled the Starbucks look and the image. When you walk into a Starbucks, I can walk into them anywhere in the world. They smell exactly the same. 99% of them look exactly the same based on the size and the shape. So it's not necessarily like trying to copy a franchise model, but trying to copy an image. When you walk into a Starbucks, there is an image that you expect. When you walk into a Red Dragon studio, there is an image that is expected for our clients and our customers, and especially for our owners.
Yeah, I really like that. And by the way, that goes true for you if you're a speaker, author, consultant. I mean, when somebody goes to Amazon, what do they see? When somebody comes to your website, what do they see? I was talking on the phone recently with a guy, one of the most influential people in the world, works for one of the biggest companies in the world as a very high executive. And I went to his website. I said, look, where's the thing about the company? And he's like, oh, that's down there on the bottom. I'm like, well, people aren't going to go to the bottom. Like, put it up at the top, like, let me see it when I first walk in, because the truth is I could walk into somebody's martial arts studio and walk out. I've done that, actually, come to think of it. I was going to do boxing down here in San Diego or in Bonita, and I literally walked in. I'm like, I'm done, And I mean, the guy's like, can I help you? I'm like, no, sorry. I'm just like going to the, it's like, that's it.
I was looking for the ice cream shop.
Walked in the wrong place. Like, that was literally 3 seconds. And I tell people, look, your book cover on Amazon, people make a decision whether they're going to buy that thing in 3 seconds. They're not going to read the back cover. 3 seconds. Somebody walks in your store, 3 seconds. Somebody looks at your sales page, your video, 3 seconds. I'm telling you, people show up on this show. I can see the statistics on live video. There's the average person that gets on and leave about 3 to 5 seconds. If you stick around through 3 to 5 seconds, you're going to be here for a little while. Okay. Yep. And I'm telling you, that's just it when it comes to business. All right.
Yeah. Hey, Ed, let me touch on that real quick. This is another message I need to drive home, especially because you talked about websites and how all your branding should match, right? And you are a master at branding and creating your brand and having that consistent look. Those of you that are doing your own websites, stop it. You're not a website designer. And I know that your best friend's uncle's cousin's boyfriend makes websites for other people. That person's not a pro either. If you have the financial means to hire the right people to do it, do it. I am not a pro at websites. The sites that I have are built by people who know what they're doing. It's their profession. And your image, your brand is everything when you are either starting, trying to establish, or trying to grow. So consistent branding is the key. Don't try and do it yourself. And there's like, you want to cut corners, you want to save money. Like, I get it, but your customer's going to see that for the first time. Ed, you're right. 3 seconds, man. That's it. You can't capture my attention in 3 seconds. Mike Keening talks about that goldfish thing. That's it. It's got to have the right look.
Yeah, so I tell speakers, I say, look, most speakers' websites look like they were built in their basement back in 2015, because most of their websites were built in their basement back in 2015. And the truth is, I stopped taking advice from broke web people, and I started hiring high-end web people. By the way, if you're watching this, email me if you want a referral, because I've been working with Tom Adams and his team for two years now. Fast, responsive, high quality, not cheap. But look, if you're trying to build a global brand, like I know you are, if you're watching the show, you want people to show up and go, and at the very least, the first thing that should go through their mind is, wow, okay, all right, oh, wow, right? And then go from there. All right, by the way, Chris's website is sitting right below him, chriscasamassa.com. Please go there and say hello. Opt in, follow Chris online. It's worth following what he does, to study what he does. Listen, I know you're probably not a martial arts business owner. I did see a couple in here, including Billy, my man, but most of you aren't, but that doesn't matter. You follow smart marketers. You take what they're doing in one industry and bring it into another. All right.
There's a couple questions there that I could address if that's
yeah.
Okay.
We're going to knock those out in about 5 minutes. I want to talk about your transition real quick.
All right.
And then there are some very good questions about local marketing. We're gonna do that. By the way, if you have a question you want to ask, now's the time to put it in. We've got maybe room for one more, maybe. By the way, if you just joined us, my name's Ed Rush. This is Chris Casamassa from Mortal Kombat. We're talking about business combat and how to win. We've been talking about testimonials and reviews, social media. I'm going to show a picture, Chris, of a recent event that you did. This is, yeah, boom, here we go. So check it out. So this is an Instagram post actually that I put up about a recent event that I spoke at. This is your mastermind group. These are your martial arts business owners sitting in a room. Well, in this case, they're listening to me, but really they were sitting in a room listening to you teach them for 2 days. And that was a business that you didn't have 2 years ago. You came and sat down right here in San Diego, and together we built this really cool business that's turned into a 6-figure business for you. And you did what very few business owners do. You went from a marketer of something into a trainer or an expert at something, and you did it very, very quickly. So I want you to talk about that transition, and then we're going to take some questions.
Okay, well, the transition was forced upon me by one Edward Rush. He didn't give me a choice if I wanted to stay working with him.
What was the option?
I was a little resistant to do. You said you have to do an event or we're done, and I was like, damn it. It took me out of my comfort zone. That's really what it was. And again, like I said in the beginning, I knew I had a message. I knew I had knowledge and skill that other people in my industry didn't have or hadn't developed yet, and that I could help them. And I was taking a very tiptoe approach at getting clients and getting people and getting them the help they need. Like I had already been helping my 12 Red Dragon school owners, but I wanted to go out and impact more. Ed knew that and said, well, then the best way and easiest way is to have an event. And I was like, oh, I don't want to have an event because there's a lot of risk, but there was also a lot of potential reward that I didn't see at the time. But obviously it's worked out well over the last few years. So that really was it. That was my all-in moment. And we did that first event, which we called, coincidentally, Business Combat. We did that at Disney in Anaheim, and it turned out great. Our first event wasn't that big. We only got, I think we had 50 school owners in the room, which Ed told me was great. I'm always thinking here, like I want big, I want 500, but 50 was great. And I ended up getting almost a dozen clients off that 9, I think we got that very first time, which was great. It went from 0 to 9 in one event. It all worked out great. We did it the next year. It doubled. We did it the third year, and it doubled. So now our event is pretty huge. It's getting to that massive level, and it's been a great run.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to your events. So the last one you did on the Queen Mary, which was awesome. I brought my daughter to that event, beautiful ballroom, and you've doubled the price of coaching with you, which is amazing. And you've got a big full room of people. So the lesson there is, business is always about transitions and the new, and right now we're in like the biggest new normal shift ever in the world. I mean, there's no such thing as normal. Let me just put it that way. It's not anymore. And so now as a business owner is a great time to reinvent yourself, take Chris's advice, find a new way to market to your folks. And really what he has now is his martial arts studios. He's got his Red Dragon studios that are his essentially franchise. And then he's got his clients that are martial arts business owners that follow him as well. So it's 3 businesses, keeps him busy, but very lucrative too as well. So you want to jump in and do some of the questions?
Yes, sir. That would be great.
All right, cool.
I saw one back here. I can't necessarily. Oh yeah, I can scroll back. Okay, good.
Yeah, so I've got 4 questions. 1 from Dennis, 2 from Marcus.
Yeah, Dennis. I saw Dennis is there. Dennis, he said, "Is there a best time of day for going live on Facebook or Instagram, or does it not matter?" The truth is, in the beginning, it doesn't matter. Again, the free $1 billion platform gives you data that you need. So for example, when COVID-19 first hit and I started going live for our free community event, I did a series of videos. I did 4 or 5 videos, and they were all different times. Some were only a minute long and some were 23 minutes long. Facebook took all that data over a 1-week period, and in my ad account, they told me your average watch time is 90 seconds. So here I'm doing 23-minute videos. The average person's watching 90 seconds. For Facebook Watch, they like videos that are 3 minutes or longer. So it gave me a formula. All right, just do a video from 3 to 9 minutes long. Saved me a lot of time, saved me a lot of headaches, and gave more impact and more reach. The other thing Facebook told me after a week was my watch time, which I thought I was going live in the early afternoon and sometimes in the morning. My highest video views were at 9:30 at night on a Wednesday. So I wouldn't have known that, but Facebook gave me that data. So guess what I did? Started going live Wednesdays at 9:30 because I knew that's when my biggest viewership was. So I took the free data that they gave me and I used it to build upon what I had been doing previously.
Yeah, that's good. I saw when I looked at my Facebook data, basically everybody shows up around 9 in the morning. Everybody's gone about 9 at night. So I started putting my posts 9, noon, 3, 6, 9. So again, look at where your market is, and everyone's different. So one of my clients works with doctors. There's not a marketing to doctors right now before 5 p.m. If you want to do a webinar with doctors, you're going to do it after 5 because they're in the office during the day.
Right.
So, but that's not true for my market. I mean, we're here at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific. These are entrepreneurs that typically are working from home. So good stuff. All right, cool. Let's get to another one of the questions here. Marcus, we'll do this quickly, Chris, and then I'll have you wrap it up. Marcus says, how do you get members to sign up? Free trial, low cost trial, $700 premium, and membership is attached. What's your way? Let's talk about specifically your martial arts school. How do you get people to sign up?
I can tell you this, and I'll tell you, Marcus and anybody else listening, for most things, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. For the virtual training that we now offer, our pivot point was fast and it was furious, and I didn't have time to invent a wheel. So I took a wheel that had already been proven to work, and I used that model. I simply copied Netflix. I started signing people up for $7 for a 14-day trial. If they loved it, then I offered them our virtual membership. That model worked phenomenally, and I didn't invent it. Netflix kind of did, and I just used it. The look of my studio is a martial arts studio, but I modeled it after something that was already successful, Starbucks. So you take things that are successful. You don't copy them because that's plagiarism, and you copy your trademark infringement and all that, but you simply use them as models for how it will fit into your business. And that's all I did. And that's all I'm doing. And we're still doing that right now. It's $7, 14-day trial. Try it. If you love it, stick with it. And if not, cancel. No obligation, no long-term contract.
Yeah, I mean, essentially you can look at so the membership-based model initially started on that $1 to get, 6 records. And then after that.
I remember those.
That was the original back in like the 60s and 70s. Then it became CDs. Then it turned into, everybody used to do year memberships. You were on for a year, but then all of the businesses at the end of the year were always trying to get people back on the memberships. Then there was a guy named Reed Hoisington who one day decided, I'm just going to keep it going. And everyone told him, you can't. Everyone will yell and scream. And he goes, no, I'm just not going to ask them at the end of the year. I'm just going to keep going. And now everybody just does memberships where it just keeps going, right? My point is, like, the business model just continues, but it all started based on something else. And it's been my experience with my memberships that my best lead in is a $1 trial. $1. This is online memberships. $1, 1 month. Then it kicks into $30 or $97 or whatever it is after that. All right, cool. A couple more questions coming in real quick. This one's from Chris Gordon. What's up, Chris? If you want to tackle this one, Chris, how would you suggest using these principles for a post-high school leadership institute, particularly as schools are really hurting from COVID right now? What do you think if he's going to do a post-high school leadership institute? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, just for clarity, and I don't know if he can continue to comment, but a post-high school leadership institute. So he's creating leaders to perhaps prepare them for the entrepreneurial world or to prepare them for college. Either case, that's a great market because there's so many people want to take that gap year, or they're just not sure about where to go, or maybe even not sure how to do it. I think those principles would work great. Again, Chris, start with one. If you can help one kid make that pivot, get their parents' testimonial from it, now you can expand and build upon that. Then now you have a market, right? I think it's a good market, but I don't know. I'm not in that industry. but those are the steps that I would take to build that business. I get 1 or 2 or 3, maybe close family friends, maybe neighbors that have kids that age, get them some results, get those testimonials, and then use those, put them on a landing page. Here, the top 3 ways kids can transition from high school to the business world, the top 2 ways that kids can get into the college of their choice. So if you have that ability and that knowledge and that skill set, those are easy pivot points to move forward.
That's great. All right, cool. Want to say hello to a couple folks in chat. Barry says, this is a holy crap moment. Adapted technology on free social platforms. Jim House says, what's up? Zachary Green, Chris, who's one of your students.
Yes.
Awesome.
What's up, Zach?
Info. Let's see. One of mine too. And then I also had one other comment here from Billy. Where did I find that? Hold on. Oh, Billy says, yep, you've torn me apart a couple of times. Never for smell though. So.
We remodeled Billy's. I did a dojo rescue on him, dojo rehab. His school looks as good, if not better than mine, because it's new. He built a beautiful, beautiful facility. It's great. And look, so here, Billy is really huge social proof for me. That dude started with me with 22 or 23 members. Like, he was struggling, barely able to survive. He's got a brand new facility, a brand new building. He's over 100 members at his studio. He is killing it. He's one of my top guys because he takes action.
Yeah, man. Take action. I know. Billy's also taken my courses because of you, Chris. So awesome. Last question. Quick one. Marcus says, tips on member retention, how to keep your members from quitting. Last count, I had about 19 strategies I wrote down on member retention, but I want to hear your best 2 or 3 before we wrap up the show.
The easiest one. How do I keep my members from quitting?
Deliver a great product.
As funny as that is, get them the results that they came to you for.
Yeah.
Most people quit when they feel that their needs aren't being met, or most people leave a business when they feel they're not being serviced properly. Your customer service outside of your business and the service that they get for me on my floor, that's my left jab, right cross. I put all my eggs in those 2 baskets, because if I'm taking care of you while you're in my building and I'm reaching out to you when you're outside of my building and making sure that I'm meeting your needs, you're not quitting.
Yeah, that's good. And I'll tell you this, to sort of take the second step to that, get them the result and then remind them that it was their decision to work with you that got the result. Okay. Yep. Here's the thing. People get in great shape and then they forget, oh, it was because I spent the last 3 months at Chris's studio here they start giving themselves credit for, like, some breathing method or something that they used over here. So remind them, man, I would say it like this. Aren't you glad you decided 3 months ago to start coming here? That's the way I would say it. And oh yeah. Like, when they start taking advantage of their results. All right, a couple other comments, and then Chris, I'm going to come to you for a quick 30-second wrap, and then we're going to wrap up the show. By the way, if you hadn't had the opportunity to do this, over here, there's a little button that says subscribe. Do me a favor and click that button. I need about 10 more subscribers to get over 1,000. 1,000 lets me start doing some things in terms of advertising these shows that I want to do. So just hook me up, please. Click the button. All right. If what you saw was helpful for you. So Zachary says, genius. Like that. And you're welcome for the shout out, my friend. Jim House, I had great results working with Ed as well. My first coaching day unlocked exactly what I needed to know. Thanks for saying that, buddy. Thank you, Robert, as well, for your comments. David Zetz, very cool. Nobby, Ed for president, hysterical. I love it. Live my life as if nothing to lose. Overthinking is my worst enemy. Don't live by others' expectations. Man, is that ever true? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments or chat as to your big takeaway today. And without any further ado, Chris Casamassa, take us home for your last thoughts for today.
You got my that's pressure right there. Like, last thoughts. The last thoughts are simple. If you've been in this thing the whole time, Ed and I have given you the steps that you need to grow your business, to create a greater impact in your community, to leave a legacy that you can be proud of. The only mistake that you can make is to do nothing. My biggest takeaway for all of you: pick up your phone and go live today. The second part of that is you should have 2 things. We're back to Facebook real quick. You should have a Facebook page and a Facebook group. The group is your nurturing community for your members. The page is your new digital storefront. If your business doesn't have both of those, you're missing a huge, huge opportunity, because it's free.
It's good stuff, man. All right, we're going to hang out and chat for just a minute or two to say hello to you. Please click that little like button. It takes like a half a second. Click it, thumbs up, click the subscribe button. That would be an awesome benefit to me. Chris, you are the man, sir. We could have done this for 3 hours. Maybe we will at some point. This, my friends, is EdTalks Live. We stream live right now every day, Wednesday or Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. It's not going to be like that forever, so make sure you jump in. Tomorrow is the Ask Me Anything show, open Q&A like we normally do on Friday, plus Focus Friday. Your job is to take what you learned today and implement it and go flat out change the world.